And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Before we do get into today's video, as always, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. So I hope you are all well. There's a lot to go through in today's video, as you can tell by the title. Massive Kasper Schmeichel news to Celtic, of course. That is the ongoing transfer story in the last few weeks. When will he officially be announced as a Celtic player? Well, it seems like it will be sooner rather than later after the latest development. But I'll discuss that in just a second, because I do want to go over another impending transfer, if you will, that being Paulo Bernardo, because this situation is ongoing as well. When will he sign permanently for Celtic? Of course, he spent last season on loan at the club. Fans kind of felt like he had a okay season. There were glimpses of him being really, really good, which kind of Celtic fans were happy to see him maybe return on a permanent transfer and grow with the club, and of course get the best out of him when he does sign permanently. Now, we spoke the other day how a transfer fee had been agreed for Paulo Bernardo to Celtic. That was around £3.5 million. But recently, an image has surfaced on the Benfica page, and it is a picture of Paulo Bernardo in training, which is quite interesting because we felt like he may, be on his way to Celtic after the transfer fee was agreed. Things, are going to move quickly, but as things stand right now, he is currently training with Benfica. I mean, some Celtic fans speculate he might have flown to the USA to be with Celtic in the training camp, pre-season tour in the USA, sorry. But that does not seem to be the case whatsoever, because they posted on Wednesday night a picture of him in training with the Benfica squad. Now, I wouldn't be too concerned about this. I mean, yeah, he's still with Benfica right now, but as you mentioned, the transfer fee has been agreed. And it looks like it will happen sooner rather than later. But it's also interesting as well that Paulo Bernardo liked the post himself as well. So a little bit concerning in a way that he's still not, left the club. But I suppose, things do move quickly, and once the personal terms are agreed, he will be on his way as soon as possible. And probably he just wants to maintain his fitness as well, and not be away from any particular team right now. Make sure he's back to full fitness, so when he does eventually join Celtic, he'll be good to go straight away, straight into pre-season, into the games in the USA, and hopefully he gets there in time for the USA games, and be fit for the start of the season as well, which I guess is a good thing for him, and it makes sense completely. So let's discuss the other story as well, because that one will happen sooner rather than later. I mean, the transfer fee's been agreed, personal terms just waiting to be agreed, and he'll sign as a Celtic player, I'm sure. But let's discuss Kasper Schmeichel, because he has successfully passed his medical and will officially become a Celtic player in the next 24 hours. So, of course, a 37-year-old goalkeeper is en route to join his new teammates at their training camp in the USA, and is poised to sign a one-year deal with an option for an additional season. So this is our second goalkeeper signing, of course, since we signed Cincialo as well from Aston Villa. That one's confirmed. He is pictured in his training gear, in his Celtic training gear. And he was on his way to USA as well to train with the squad. So Kasper Schmeichel, of course, will be our new number one for next season. Still very happy about this signing, to be fair. I think it's a very good signing. I think some Celtic fans are a little bit frustrated that he's quite old and it's a quite kind of stopgap signing. But when you sign Cincialo as well to train under Kasper Schmeichel, is definitely a good bit of business by the club. And, I think it's a brilliant signing personally. I think the experience he brings is superb. And it looks like in the next 24 hours, it will be officially confirmed by the club after he has completed his medical. All went well, which is good to see. He will join up with the team in the USA for our pre-season tour, and he will be fit and ready to go for the start of the season. Now, it's obviously worth noting, this guy has worked with Brendan Rodgers before. Brendan knows what he can give to the team, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in a Celtic shirt next season, or call it this season now, I suppose, as the season is coming. We are getting closer and closer to the start of the season, which is quite exciting. But yeah, I think, a couple more additions, a couple more first-team players in through the door, and I think it will be a successful transfer window. But of course, goalkeeper was a main issue going into the transfer window. As soon as we found out Joe Hart was retiring, we knew that was a key area we had to improve on. Of course, there's still other areas like centre-back, I think is a massive one. Maybe another out-wide player as well. Another midfielder, Paulo Bernardo, will do that job, but of course another striker as well. As things stand with the Adam Idah situation, it's gone relatively quiet in the Celtic space. No real updates on this. I'm not too concerned though, because I did feel like if this deal was to go through, it would be towards the back end of the transfer window, just given the fact that we know that the new Norwich manager wants to see Adam Idah in pre-season. He wants to kind of get a look at him and see if he wants him to be at Norwich for next season or not. So if that's the case and he wants him to stay at the club, he will do, unless Celtic give him an offer they can't refuse. Or if he feels like Adam Idah can go, then Celtic will switch it in for him, I think, and that deal will be done and dusted. But that's gone relatively quiet right now. That's my first striking option. That's the first player I want for that position. Of course, Mivioski's an option as well. Shanklin's been linked as well. So many different players have been linked. But for me, Adam Idah is the man that I want, just given how good he did for us in his 6-month spell at the club. So yeah, to kind of summarise the video, really, Paulo Bernardo's pitched and training with Benfica, still not on his way to the USA with Celtic, which is a shame. Personal terms are waiting to be agreed, come to an agreement of a contract, stuff like that between the player and the club. The transfer fee has been agreed, £3.5 million for him. And of course, Kasper Schimechel as well, that he's passed his medical. He will be officially announced as a Celtic player in the next 24 hours. I wouldn't be too surprised if he gets announced tonight. I think it will be very, very quickly, and then he'll see him in training with his new teammates, which is quite exciting. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Cinciala develops under Kasper Schmeichel's guidance as well, which should be quite good. I've seen a lot of the concerns between the Celtic fans with Kasper Schmeichel was his poor stint in Belgium last year. He struggled with Anderlecht last season, but I wouldn't really be too concerned about that. I think he suits the league perfectly. He obviously played his best football under Brendan Rodgers as well, or some of his best football. Probably Claudio Ranieri gets that crown, but a lot of his best football under Brendan Rodgers at Leicester. So I think it'll be a very good signing for us. And of course, the Adam Idah situation as well. That's another thing. We'll see how that develops in the next few days, if any more news comes out about that. But I think it'll be more towards the back end of the transfer window for him. So, guys, what do you make of the transfer window as a whole so far? I was frustrated at first with the slow start to it, but I think in the last few weeks, or the last week in particular, I'm getting more and more happy with our business that's been done. It just shows a bit more intent behind what we're trying to do here. You can see that the board are trying to make some moves for players in the transfer market, which is all we can ask for, really. I mean, if we go after players and they don't want to come to the club, or they're out of our price range, and so be it. But at least we're making the effort to go ahead and try and get the players that we want, which is all we can ask for, really, as a fan base. So I'm pretty happy with the business so far. I think more will come. It's going to be a very busy time at Celtic this transfer window, so I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on everything that happens. But yeah, looking forward to the season starting now. I had enough of this summer break, had enough of international football. So yeah, looking forward to seeing Celtic back playing again for the new season. So yeah, as always, drop a like on this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. And yeah, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.